Welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking a really brilliant microanalysis of how to adapt a profoundly impactful 60-word Zen Koan into a compelling screenplay scene. The piece is called The Moon Cannot Be Stolen, and honestly, packed within these few tiny sentences is an absolute masterclass in visual storytelling, character dynamics, and, well, the true meaning of wealth. So let's break down exactly how this scene unfolds.
But before we set the scene, I want you to consider something. What is the one thing a thief can never steal? I mean, usually when we think of theft, our minds go straight to objects, right? Money, electronics, jewelry, cars. We think of things that can be physically stuffed into a bag or driven off in the dead of night. But this adaptation challenges literally everything we know about possession. It's going to ask us to look way past our physical belongings and consider what we hold on to that is completely immune to being taken. Keep that in the back of your mind as we block out this scene.
Section 1. The Simple Mountain Hut.
Our source text opens with this line. Ryokan, a Zen master, lived the simplest kind of life in a little hut at the foot of a mountain. Now, if we're writing a screenplay, this is our establishing shot. We aren't building some grand temple set or a bustling village. It's just this tiny, isolated hut set against a massive, looming mountain. And that physical setting does a lot of heavy lifting. It immediately establishes the character's internal state for the audience. Vast, quiet, and completely unburdened by excess.
So who exactly is our protagonist? Ryokan is a Zen master. And in the specific context of our story, this means he is someone who has completely detached himself from material wealth. This is his core character motivation. You see, he isn't living in poverty because he's forced to. He has deliberately opted out of the entire game of material accumulation. It's a highly intentional, chosen state of being.
Section 2. An empty-handed intruder.
Okay, look at the inciting incident here. One evening, a thief visited the hut only to discover there was nothing to steal. This creates such a powerful and honestly almost comical contrast on screen. Picture it. The thief sneaks in, he's got his bag ready to fill, he's ready for action, but the production design itself just refuses to participate in his crime. There is absolutely nothing physical of value to give him. It is just the perfect setup.
Now pause for a second and really put yourself in this situation. How would you react if you caught a thief in your home? Imagine you walk into your living room in the dark and see someone rummaging through your stuff. Most of us would feel an instant rush of adrenaline, right? Intense anger, a desire to protect our space, or just sheer terror. And thinking about our own very human, instinctual reactions is exactly what makes our Zen master's reaction in the next scene so completely paradigm-shifting for an audience.
Section 3. The Unexpected Gift.
As Ryokan catches the thief, he delivers this line. "You have come a long way to visit me," he told the prowler, "and you should not return empty-handed." Notice the dialogue here. He doesn't yell. He doesn't threaten. He actually frames the intrusion as a visit. From a screenwriting perspective, Ryokan's actions completely flip the script. He treats the intruder not as a threat that needs to be neutralized, but as an honored guest who has traveled a long way and deserves hospitality.
And then we get the ultimate plot twist. Please take my clothes as a gift. By physically taking off his clothes and handing them over, which are likely his only possession, Ryokan completely subverts the act of theft. Because think about it, you cannot steal what is freely given. In one smooth cinematic motion, he turns a hostile home invasion into this profound act of charity. He disarms the thief, not with a weapon, but with radical, unexpected generosity.
So we end up with two entirely conflicting mindsets sharing this one tiny set. On one hand, you have the thief, who is driven by scarcity and desperation, violently seeking out physical possessions. And on the other, you have Ryokan, who is so deeply rooted in abundance and non-attachment that he willingly gives away his final layer of physical comfort. The thief is completely bound by things, while Ryokan is so free that he literally gives the shirt off his back to the guy trying to rob him.
Section 4. A Bewildered Escape. The thief was bewildered. He took the clothes and slunk away. These are fantastic stage directions. The words bewildered and slunk dictate exactly how the actor should play this exit, utterly defeated. He wasn't fought off, he wasn't arrested, but he still lost. His entire worldview was just totally short-circuited by a man who simply refused to be a victim. Look at how rapidly these scene beats actually dismantle the thief's reality. First, he intrudes to steal. Then, he finds nothing. Next, he's caught by the master. Then, he's actually gifted clothes. And finally, he slinks away bewildered. He walked in there thinking he was the predator, fully in control. But in 5 quick beats, a simple act of generosity completely stripped him of all his power.
Section 5. Giving the Moon.
After the thief leaves, the text gives us our final, incredibly powerful visual. Ryokan sat naked watching the moon. This is the ultimate picture of serenity. Stripped of literally all worldly possessions, right down to the clothes on his back. He doesn't panic, he doesn't call the authorities, he doesn't sit there shivering in self-pity. The camera just lingers on him, left in perfect, undisturbed harmony with the vast, untouchable beauty of nature.
And that brings us to the final beautiful line of the source. "Poor fellow," he mused. "I wish I could have given him this beautiful moon." Notice the profound pity here. He doesn't pity himself, he pities the thief. Because the thief walked away thinking he actually got something valuable, while being entirely blind to the infinite beauty of the moon shining right above the both of them.
And this really illustrates the core theme of our adaptation, material versus intangible wealth. The thief takes a physical garment, sure, but he remains spiritually poor. Ryokan loses everything physical, yet he possesses the infinite beauty of the moon. True wealth isn't about what you can steal or what you can lock away in a box. It's entirely about your capacity to appreciate the boundless beauty around you that can never, ever be stolen.
Well, thank you for joining me on this deep dive into adapting such a powerful piece of writing. I'll leave you with this provocative thought the next time you find yourself stressing over the material things in your own life. Are we too busy chasing clothes to notice the moon? Are we so hyper-focused on acquiring things we can physically hold that we miss the profound beauty hanging right above us? Think about that for a bit, and keep seeking out the moon in your own life.